Are there issues, Victor, still in the back row?
Yeah, I mean, you know, when things loosened up, the Irish team, the back line was a little bit more fluid. The trick is to make sure this looseness appears in the French team and the French game quickly and early. So therefore you need a back row ruck in past the ball the way the Welsh do. The intensity levels doesn't seem to be there at the moment, and we all know this team, they're used to playing at a high intense tempo. When they're at that level, then they can move the ball around and they're very threatening. But you can't get that unless you get balls in hands and running and pumping legs and tying people in. And I just don't see that at the moment. And, you know, as a back row, you need to find yourself in these positions and find them there early, personally, before any game plan kicks into shape.
So how do you do that then, Alan? Do we simply need the players to perform better?
Yeah, we do. And I think there were some good signs on Saturday. But on the back row issue, I'd like to see Ferris, Heaslip and O'Brien get a little bit closer to the ball. They're hanging out a little bit, and they've improved. You know, Saturday was an improvement. Ferris made some great carries, great tackles. Heaslip and O'Brien were not so prominent, but you know, I'd like to see them get in closer to the ball a bit more, because they're all fantastic players. You could argue the balance of the back row, there's out and out 7, but I think the 3 of them, if they're on song, they're fantastic players, and it's been played out a bit over the last couple of weeks. The pack in general as a group, they have a great work ethic. You heard Keith Earls there, and you know, you need those guys on the ball a bit more.
But isn't the problem that they haven't been on song, all 3 of them?
Yeah, they haven't, and I suppose there's pressure on them, and they're all probably trying to make things happen. I suppose they need to just work better as a unit, is what Victor is saying. They're not standing out as a unit, working really well together.
You kind of need to go back to basics, you know. I mean, you can talk about game plans, and when things aren't going well, you start scratching your head. So you go back to basics. You go in with a game plan and some patterns, but realistically, the first 5-10 minutes of an international game is mayhem. And in that mayhem, you make sure that you're going forward and your opposition team or number is going backwards. And when that happens, then we have the skills in the back line. If you look at like getting balls in the hands, the likes of Carney, Tommy Bowe, when they have the ball, they play rugby. The question is getting the ball into their hands as soon as possible.
But on the 7 role, I'd like to see Sean O'Brien on Saturday get at Para and Trinduc, play a 7's role, even for the first 20-25 minutes, really get out there, get in Para's faces, because those 2 guys make France tick, put pressure on them like a real genuine open side, and I think he can do that if he's just given a bit of direction.
Yeah, that is the question. Is he able to play that traditional 7?
Yeah, I think he is. If you look back to the Australia game of the World Cup, you know, we said our 6, 7 and 8, Heaslip, Ferris and O'Brien were among the best in the world, and it's not that long ago since then. But I would agree with Alan and Victor, we need to up the pace of the game, and I actually left the game, you know, thinking Owen Redden had made a massive impact, and he had. But when I watched it back, Conor Murray had to do a huge amount of, you know, donkey work at the ruck because we weren't clearing past, and it made him look slower than he is. He's well capable of playing the same game as Owen Redden. So, you know, and that's an issue for the back row and the rest of the pack, to just smash rucks for the first 60 minutes and leave the ball in the play for your scrum half.